As I say, I believe God expressly sent us this man that you might have your desire. His practice in Paris was extensive and successful, and you needn't be surprised that he hasn't practiced here in Florence. The reasons are first that he's rich, and second that he hasn't to return to Paris at once. Well, now, brother, there's an important point. I shouldn't like him to get me into an awkward situation and then leave me in it. The only thing you have to worry about is that he might not be willing to undertake your cure. If he does take you on, he won't leave you till he's seen it through. That part I'll leave to you. But as for science, once I've talked with him, I'll tell you whether he knows his stuff or not. He won't sell me any pig in a poke, because you're the man I know you to be. I want you to talk with him, and if he doesn't impress you for presents, learning in Latin, as someone you can trust, like your dear old sainted mother, my name's not Ligurio. Well then, by the holy angel, so be it, and let's get going. Where does he live? On the square. That's his door right opposite. Good fortune attend us. Here goes. Who is it? Is Calamaco at home? Yes, he is. Why don't you call him Master Calamaco? Oh, he doesn't care about such trifles. Tisk. You must pay him the respect due to his profession. If he takes it amiss, so much the worse for him. Who is it that wants me? Bona dies domine magister, et vobis bona domina doctor. What do you think? By the Holy Gospel, he's good. If you want me to stay, you must talk a language I understand. If not, let's part company. What fair business brings you here? I wonder. I want two things that another man might run a mile to avoid. Primo, to give myself a lot of trouble. Secundo, to inflict it on someone else. I have no children, I'd like some, and to get myself into this trouble, I've come to importune you. It will never be less than a joy to me to give pleasure to you and to all other men of merit and virtue. Nor have I practiced these many years in Paris, but for the privilege of serving such as you. I appreciate that, and should you ever need my own professional services, I would be happy to oblige. But to return ad rem nostrum, have you thought which of the baths is most likely to get my wife pregnant? I know, you see, that Ligurio here has told you what he has told you. Very true, but what we may enable you to have your desire. We must know the cause of your wife's sterility, for there can be various causes. Nam causae sterilitatis sunt, ot in semine, ot in matrice, ot instrumentis seminaris, ot in virga, ot in cosa extrinsica. This is the most worthy man one could hope to find. Alternatively, the sterility might be caused by impotence in you. If that should be the case, there would be no remedy. Impotent? Me? Oh, don't make me laugh. I don't believe there's a more vigorous, virile man than me in Florence. Well, if that's not it, you may rest assured we'll find a remedy. Would there be any remedy other than the baths? Because I don't want to go to all the inconvenience, and my wife would be unwilling to leave Florence. Let me answer your question in the affirmative. Calamaco, being circumspect, sometimes carries circumspection to excess. Didn't you tell me you knew how to prepare certain potions that will make a woman pregnant quite infallibly? I did. But it has not been my habit to communicate that fact to strangers. They might regard me as a charlatan. Don't worry about me. I'm amazed at your abilities. There's nothing I couldn't believe you capable of. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. I think you ought to see a specimen of her water. Undoubtedly, one could get nowhere without it. Call Ciro. Tell him to go home with Messer Nicia. Pick up the specimen and then come back. We'll wait for him indoors. Ciro, go with him. And if you agree, Messere, you come back too, and we'll think of a way out. If I agree, I shall be back like a shot. I place more confidence in you than Hungarians do in swords. That master of yours is a very distinguished man. Better than that, even. The King of France holds him in a great esteem. Very great. And for that reason, I take it he is glad to stay in France. That's my belief. He's quite right. The people of this city are dirty dogs. No appreciation of merit. If he were to stay, no one would trouble to look at him twice. I speak from experience. I've given it everything, learning my heeks, and hooks, and if I hadn't got a private income, I'd be having a thin time of it, I can tell you. Do you make 100 ducats a year? Go on, I don't make 100 lira, or 100 groats. The fact is, if you don't spend your time keeping up with a neighbor such as Florence, you won't find a dog to bark you a civil greeting. The rest of us are good for nothing but funerals and wedding breakfasts and loafing all day on the square. But they don't bother me. I have no need of anybody. There are plenty who'd be glad to change places with me, but I shouldn't like what I've just said to get around, or someone might slap a fine on me or slug me in a dark alley. Don't worry, Messere. This is my house. Wait for me here. I'll be right back. Go ahead. If all men of learning were like that one, the rest of us would have straw in our hair. I'm quite sure that the wicked Ligorio and my mad master are leading him to his downfall. And to tell the truth, I'd enjoy his downfall. If only we could be sure of getting away with it. Otherwise, I'm risking my neck, and my master is risking both his neck and his property. He's already turned himself into a doctor. I just don't know what their little plan is, or where they're heading with all this deception. But here's Messer Nicia again, specimen in hand. You can't help laughing at him, the old cuckoo. Up to now, I've always done everything your way. In this matter, I want you to do things my way. If I'd thought that you and I weren't going to have children, I'd rather have married a pleasant girl. Ciro, follow me. The trouble I had getting my lady fool to give me the specimen. That's not to say, of course, that she wants children less than I do. On the contrary, but the moment I suggest anything practical, oh, what a song and dance. Be patient. Soft words make women do what other people want. Soft words? She raised the roof. Go this instant. Tell your master and Ligurio I'm here. Look, they're just coming out of the house. Aside, Messer Nicia will be easy to persuade. The problem will be his wife, but we shall find a way to bring her round. Have you got the specimen? Ciro has it under his cloak. Give it to me. Aha, weak kidneys. Yes, it does look a bit turbid, yet she only just did it. Oh, don't let that surprise you. Nam mulieris urine sent semper meoris, gloside et albetinis, et minoris pulchritudinis, quam virorum, uis atem cetera, cosa et amplitudo canelium mixtio erumque ex matris ex once cum urina. Horrors of heaven, this man gets better all the time. He thinks of everything. I'm afraid this woman is not properly covered at night. For that reason, her urine is not of the finest quality. She has a good quilt over her, but she spends 4 hours on her knees before she gets into bed, stringing off paternosters. She's as strong as a horse when it comes to standing cold. Well, to cut a very long story short, Messer Nicia, either you trust me or you don't. Either I am to expound a sure remedy to you, or I am not. For myself, I'd let you have the remedy. Only put your trust in me, and you shall have it. And if 1 year from now your wife is not holding a child in her arms, a child of her own, I will gladly pay you 2,000 ducats. Pray tell me what this remedy is. My only wish is to honor you in everything, and to trust you more than my father confessor. This, then, you must know. Nothing more surely makes a woman pregnant than getting her to drink a potion made from the root of the mandrake. This is something I have tested several times. Every time it worked. Were that not so, the Queen of France would be childless, not to mention countless other princesses of that land. Is it possible? It is exactly as I say, and Fortune must love you dearly, for she has caused me to bring to Florence all the ingredients of that potion. You could have it at once. When would she have to take it? This evening after supper. The moon is well disposed. There could not be a more propitious moment. That won't be hard to arrange. Make it up in any case. I'll see that she takes it. There's a further consideration. The first man who has to do with her after she's taken this potion will die within the week. Nothing in this world can save him. Blood and guts. I won't touch the filthy stuff. You can't make me run my neck into that kind of noose. Be calm. There's a remedy. What is it? Arrange for someone else to sleep with her immediately, so that spending the night with her he may draw upon himself all the infection of the mandrake, after which you can lie with her without danger. I won't do it. Why not? I don't want to make my wife a whore and myself a cuckold. That's why not. What did you say, Messer Niccolo? Is this our wise doctor of laws? You are not prepared to do what the King of France has done, and great lords at his court without number? Who on earth do you expect me to find? Who would do such a thing? If I tell him about it, he won't want to do it. If I don't tell him, I shall be guilty of treachery, which is a felony in Florence, and I don't want to get into hot water. If that's your only trouble, I believe I can take care of it. How? I'll tell you. I'll give you the potion this evening after supper. Have her drink it, then put her straight to bed. It'll be about 10 o'clock. Then we'll disguise ourselves, you, Ligurio, Ciro, and I, and go search the new market, the old market, every street and alley. The first idle young lout that we come upon, we gag him, and to the tune of a sound drubbing. Take him into your house, and into your bedroom in the dark. Then we put him in the bed and tell him what to do. I don't think there'll be any problem. In the morning you send the fellow packing before daybreak. Then get your wife washed, and you can take your pleasure of her without the slightest risk. I'll go along, since you tell me that a king and princes and lords have used this method. One request, though, let's keep this secret on account of the felony. Who do you think would blab? There's another obstacle, a tricky one too. What? We must get my wife to agree, and I don't think she ever will. An excellent point. Personally, I would never marry in the first place unless I knew I could get the lady to see things my way. I have it. What? The remedy. We make use of her father confessor, and we'll persuade the father confessor. You, me, and money. Our own wickedness and that of the priests. I'm afraid she'll refuse to talk with her father confessor, if only to contradict her husband. There's a remedy for that, too. Tell me. Get her mother to take her to him. True, she trusts her mother, and I happen to know that her mother is of our way of thinking. Well, now time's running on, and it'll soon be evening. Calamaco, go and take a little stroll, and be sure that you're at home to receive us at 8 o'clock with the potion all ready. We'll go see the mother, then call on the friar, then report back to you. Hey, don't leave me alone. You look as if your goose were cooked. Where am I supposed to put myself? Here, there, everywhere, up the street and down the next. Florence is such a big city. I'm dead.